Well, the bok choys are going to flower, which is pretty much the way they do things around here. So I have 1, 2, 3, maybe. Yeah, so I have 3. Oh, there's another one going to flower soon. So those are 3 places that I can put another plant in, which I still have plenty of. Hi, everyone. So I'm so glad I haven't planted any of the warm weather plants yet, because midweek we're going to get temperatures in the 30s at night. And it seemed like this year May was going to be like on time as far as last frost dates are concerned, but nope. We always get that just a little bit after Mother's Day freeze or frost or chill that is pretty common here in the Northeast and other parts of the Northern Hemisphere. So, but I got a few things in the mail last week now, that I want to share with you, and we're getting a few more things in the mail this week that I'll share with you when they get here. First things first, you already saw the Greenstalk. So this is a nice cover, right? Well, it comes with a few other things. Now, I've been looking into irrigation because the influencers were talking about it, and then you go down the rabbit hole. So I looked into it. For some reason, I went to Greenstalk, and this was like 2 or so weeks ago. And they were actually, I was the last day, and I always miss these, but for some reason this time around, faith was on my side. It was the last day that they were having like a pre-sale for their irrigation system. So I was able to get it at a discount, or their pre-sale sale. So I got the irrigation system, which is the start of trying to do some irrigation around here, which is going to be very difficult. So as far as the irrigation system for the Greenstalk, I haven't set it up yet because I don't think that this is the best place for the Greenstalk as far as availability to the water source. It's a little far. I ran a hose over here, and it would have to be dedicated to here if that was the case. And I don't think that doesn't make sense for me. Anyway, so and you have to buy, I only have one Greenstalk. My mother has the other one. And you'd have to buy a kit per, I think, but there's extra elbows and hosing, so you can attach 2 at least together. So this is the nub the water comes out of that goes inside here. What I really liked about this system is the cover, because especially in this time of year we get a lot of maple leaf flyers. So now I don't have to worry about clogging up that. So it's a tube and lots of elbows and shut off valves. And these are the connectors that go on the planter itself. There we go. Now, word of warning, if you have a spinner on these, you're going to have to detach the hose every time you need to spin it. So depending on what you have planted where, if you have shade loving plants on the backside, then you may not have to spin it at all. So that's your best bet. But otherwise, you're going to have to go through a minute or so of detaching this if you need to spin. You need to spin your system. While I was there, I also picked up a very necessary and vital parts to growing any brassicas, and their insect netting, which is really durable. It's really well made from what I can feel. I haven't put it on yet. I haven't seen the cabbage moths yet, and yeah, so I will be using this. And technically you're supposed to get another component so that it drapes and doesn't touch your plants, but I think I can jury rig something because I don't want to spend another few bucks on that, but it's a good idea to do anyway. So yeah, you can also put down other plants that are taller, shrubs and stuff that you want to protect. Maybe they have that insect. They have a frost cover also for this. It's a pretty good system for what it is. Currently, I don't have to water these every day. The soil is plenty moist. The weather is still cooperating with me as far as that's concerned. But some people water these every day, twice a day sometimes. I don't know. But it's been working out so far. The plants look pretty good, the ones that haven't bolted. We got Swiss chard and collards and other choys. The strawberries that I planted recently. This is the tatsoi. They do better in the planters. I mean, they do better in the heat of the summer than the bok choy. And the pak choy is so-so. This one's still going as far as the pak choy, but that'll go to seed soon too. Before I get to the other thing I got in the mail, so I'd completely forgotten that I was overwintering peppers. Well, no, I didn't forget that I was overwintering them, but I forgot that they were in pots that I was going to reuse afterwards. Specifically for the ground cherries, which I'm going to put up in our balcony because I want to eat them this year versus the squirrels and chipmunks and the birds. So I got like frantic and I was like, I need a planter, even though I'm not planting them for a few more weeks. But I have crates, these dairy crates, I guess. A few of those lying around. So I lined it with cardboard to keep the soil from escaping. And then the bottom third is just regular topsoil. The center is compost, nearly finished. If I worked on it more, it would finish faster, but it's good for what it is. I'll mulch with it. So semi-finished compost in the middle, and then I've got my alpaca manure with perlite and vermiculite, and I sprinkled in some eggshells I had extra of on top. So these two crates are going to go be for the ground cherries. And now I have my two extra pots. Yeah, I don't think the basement got cold. I don't think the basement, got cold enough for the peppers to actually go dormant because there was growth on them January, February, and then after that they disappeared. So I think they were just trying to grow, but no sunlight, no nothing. I didn't overwater. The roots weren't rotting, but it was still moist. But none of them survived this season. Last year I'd overwintered in the garage, and that gets colder, so I think that did go put them through dormancy. So I'll try that again this year. I'd also tried to save, I think, some cucamelon roots. That didn't work either. So now I have two planters that I have extra-ish of, so I can plant some other good stuff in there. Or I could put more ground cherries in there. We'll see. All right, on to the next thing that I have received recently. All right, so the next thing we have that came in is lion's mane mushroom. Now, I had no idea where to get this from, so I figured Etsy was my best bet. I think this was the second one that came up. I clicked on it. I actually went to see where it was coming from, and it turns out it was from New York, and they had their own website. So I went directly to the website because that's the way to support the businesses, not through third-party collecting fees out of hard-earned money places, but directly to the business. So I went to, in this case, bristolmushrooms.com and purchased it directly from them. So I got the block kit, and I also got the dried form because I wanted to know what it was like versus waiting a week or so for the fruit to come out of the body. So far, the hardest part of this was setting up the tent. I could have probably gone with like a clear bin, but I just wanted to jury rig something. So there's a little plastic bag that's gonna keep the humidity in for this. Now, the other thing that was taking me a bit was how to secure it all and everything. So I got some butterfly clips, some rubber bands. You don't need any of this. This is just me. being extra. So what I'm gonna do, it's a little warmer in this room than I thought. They like it a little bit cooler in the 60s and up to the 75. Although the paper said 65 to 75. So I guess it all depends who you talk to. But I think now that it's summertime, this room gets a lot of western exposure. They don't want direct light, they want indirect sunlight. But they want to stay cool. So I think I'm going to move this maybe down to the mudroom. There's some light there, but it's more in the earth, so the temperature is a little cooler. But for now, I will set it up as it is. So what you're going to do is roll up the bag so that there's not air where you don't want it to grow. We're going to do an X on whatever side you decide you want your fruit to come out of. And I'm going to do, it says it'll do 3 flushes if it's a good block, and I think this will be. It looks very nice from what I could see with other internet searches. So I'll do an X on one side, another X after that one fruits, and then maybe do the tinier sides later on. We shall see. There's lots of beneficial health stuff with mushrooms. Search it yourself. It's said to taste like lobster or crab meat. It's got the consistency, that chewiness. You can cook it in a variety of ways. Well, I'm excited to find out what it's going to taste like. I have never had this mushroom before. But all right, I'm going to set it up. Let's see. So we're just depriving it of the air where we don't want it to be growing. Now, a little blade here. Let's keep this side. It says make 1-inch X's. It doesn't matter if you cut into the mushroom spawn. I think that was more than 1 inch, but that's okay. All right. You want it in some kind of pan or plate so that the excess moisture that's going to come off the tent goes into the pan and not on whatever surface you have it on. And then what does it say? So in the first application, until you get fruiting, you do want to mist the substrate. And then you want to mist the tent. Get it humid in there. I don't know how much misting. Mist away. And then cover it up. Now if I find this bag sagging, then I'll go in and stick a skewer in there and prop it up somehow. Or if I have an overhead something, then I can hang a hanger, one of those pants hangers with the clippies, then I can hang this baggie like that. So depending on how much oxygen your room has will change the growth formation of your mushroom. But for the most part, they look pretty much how you expect them to look. But yeah, that was less than a minute to set up, other than the other extra things I was monkeying around with. Yeah, a clear bin would have probably sufficed. I just don't know where the lid of the bin that I was thinking of using is. So I didn't want to have to go hunting down bin lids. So here we are. We'll see how this goes. I will check back to you when it starts fruiting, and then we'll see what it tastes like. So you're going to want to keep that tent moist. Spray it, once a day, every other day, depends on the room. And it should pop up in a week, a little bit over a week. And you want to harvest it while it's still pretty light. Once it turns tan, definitely take it. Once it gets to brown, yeah, you're kind of getting past. But So yeah, get it, harvest all of that comes up, and then close up the slit with some tape, turn it around, cut another little slit, and start all over again. Keep it moist throughout this process. It says you'll get 3 times fruiting, so expect to spend a month with this block. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes up. Let me know if you've had oyster mushroom and any other mushroom you have tried and recommend in the comments. So the days have been pretty hot, actually. So it's been slow going with the projects, but at least we've been getting them done. This back here particularly, I finally finished. It took like 2 weeks, only doing like 2 loads at a time because it's hot work. But that's done. I'm still working on the front area, but other infrastructure works are getting completed. Our next mail call should finish up some of those projects, and then we'll finally be able to plant our garden for the summer. So excited. Well, the May tour is coming up, so there's still not a lot of stuff growing other than what you saw in the Greenstalk, but we'll definitely be planting quite a bit in the coming weeks. Well, I hope you come back. I hope you subscribe, and I will talk to you all again real soon. Bye.